Hello, and welcome to another session of the Mind Your Mind campaign. Today, we are talking about coping strategies to promote mental well being. My name is Irene Jeroge, and I am a mental health clinician and behavioral therapist. I am also a well being trainer and coach, and I love what I do. My goal with these sessions is to make sure that we all are feeling a sense of empowerment, we all are feeling a sense of, I know what is that about. We're not so much scared to have conversations around our mental well being. So stay tuned and join me on another session where we all learn together. So, why coping strategies, you may ask? Well, we all know that workplace stress is common. We can talk about it, but we cannot really eliminate it. So, what we want to do is one, know how to prevent it. And we've talked about that from the protective, preventive factors. But also, we want to be able to know how to manage even when it's there. And this session is about that. So, while we may not avoid it, when we may not entirely eliminate it, how we respond to it makes all the difference. And that's why we are talking about this today. And we also know that healthy coping strategies, they help us improve our focus, productivity, and emotional well-being when we practice them. So the goal is what we learn in this session, please put it into practice. And workers who manage stress well are actually safer in how they manage their lives, how they manage their work, how they keep everyone safer around them, and also more efficient in their work, and they are more productive. And as a result, they are also happier. And that is the overall goal. So let's now unpack the 7 coping strategies that I will share with you today that will help you promote mental well being or your own well being at work, but even beyond work when you go home into your families. Coping strategy number 1, especially in the workplace, take breaks to refresh the mind. That it is as simple and as profound as it sounds. Please take breaks. Remember, short breaks they reduce fatigue and actually improve concentration. If you've ever just taken a few minutes bathroom break at work after you are feeling so exhausted, especially for those who work behind screens or even those who are working in production lines, please know, or even call centers where people are telling you things all the time and you're having to regulate people. So please take a break from that, and that will help. First, help you rejuvenate, so work, help with promoting that sense of relaxation and rest, but also improve concentration when you return to that work. They also help prevent physical and mental exhaustion. Yes, most of the work that we do is very exhausting, and we can try to make it less so, but a lot of the time the control we have is on how we respond to it, and how we respond it is by doing this. Please make sure that you take the break. Don't just overlook it. It's only 5 minutes, it's only half an hour. Please take it. Your body and your mind needs it. And also step away from work at one given point or another really helps reset focus. So stepping away, it's the same thing as taking a break, you may think. But what I'm saying is we need to kind of tune off our brain from work. So what does that mean? So you may take a break, but you're still in the same environment. But when you go home, are you the one that still take work home? Because what's gonna happen, you are not really away from work. It is reminding constantly the deadlines and the pressures that you have. So tune off. Whether a weekend, just choose maybe one day of the weekend, or maybe perhaps an afternoon or morning where you're not thinking about work. And in that case, you're engaging with other activities that don't remind you of work. And that is what I mean with step away from work to help you just reset that focus, that rejuvenate in a different way, that you're not remembering about what you do every day and the pressures that come with that. Okay? Coping strategy number 2, talk about challenges. Yes, talk about it. We cannot emphasize the importance of you talking and importance of us having people in our lives, people and colleagues that we can engage with, where we talk about our day-to-day challenges, because challenges shared, they feel lighter. So it really does reduce stress and provides that shift of perspective. You may be struggling with something and then you share it with someone, and I'm sure many of us have experienced that, where you share that with someone and all of a sudden, oh, you get a thought, you get a plan, you feel like I have an idea now of what to do. So focus on that sharing, particularly for that. I know a lot of people feel like I don't want to burden people, I don't want people to get into my business. But the most important thing that happens with sharing a challenge or that you're experiencing is that you get another person's perspective. Even if it's not a solution, that shift really helps. Build trust and teamwork in the workplace. Yes, be a giver, because those who give, it comes back. So please be a giver, because even in giving, even when it does not come back from the person you've given, your attention, your time, checking in with them, even sharing a challenge with them, I'm sure the universe takes care of us. That they may not be the one that gives you when you need it, but there will be another person who actually reciprocates that in one way or another. So please build that trust where teams and colleagues can feel like I can come to Irene. I know she listens. I know she does not judge. And I also know that when I share with her, I get an insight. I get a new idea, perspective shift from how I was thinking before that. So please foster that for yourself. And it also helps us prevent frustration from building up. Please know that the one of the things about sharing challenges, it is because when we keep it to ourselves, when we are retaining it for us, and we are fearing sharing because we fear being shamed, being judged, and all of that, one of the things that it does, it eats us on the inside. So sharing it actually alleviates that. It almost feels as if that burden that I was carrying, I have offloaded it to another person, even though it's not necessarily what happened, but it feels that way. And feeling is what we are yearning. We want to feel relief. We want to feel lighter. We want to feel that we have support. So please know, talking about it will actually help make the frustration, the challenge, and all of feel a bit lighter, gives us another perspective, and also allow us to build trust in with our workplaces, our colleagues, and our teammates. And that goes a very long way. Coping strategy number 3 is stay active. We have talked about it in previous sessions, and this is when we are talking about protective factors: staying active, exercise, adequate nutrition, and healthy nutrition, and also sleep. So exercise, move as you can. Even when you are stationed in an workplace, maybe it's an office behind a computer, you can get up and stretch and do something. If you know, even when you go to the washroom, if there is another bathroom that is a bit further, when you walk up to go to the bathroom, go to the one that is at the back. That allows you to move a bit more. So all of these strategies, if you can take stairs, if it's just one flight, please do it, because exercise boosts energy levels and really reduces those stress hormones, those endorphins that are flowing in our system when we are feeling stressed. And also, most importantly, cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that just is released in our system to help us fight the threat of stress. So, and we know those hormones, while they help us in that moment, they actually also cause all the other health problems, inflammation and chronic stress and all of that, and including weight gain. And that's something that we do not want happening. So staying active improves mood. Yes, we feel better. We are able to breathe in. Our lungs have enough oxygen to actually provide us with oxygen in all our other cells and organs. So we feel lighter. Our mood is better. We sleep better at night. And also we focus, because when your brain is saturated well with oxygen, concentrated and focus is there. And I tell you, and I can challenge you, when you're working, especially in on a project, and you're there and you're trying to focus and you're feeling distracted or you can't really concentrate, just take a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose. 1, 2, 3. Hold it just for 1, 2, and then exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you do that, you're feeding your brain with oxygen. And so that is what exercise and movement does as well, because you'll see that all of a sudden you can now focus, or even you're feeling sleepy, you do some deep breathing, also you may feel a bit more energy and a bit more alert and awake. It also prevents long-term health issues linked to stress. And I've talked about this when I explained what cortisol and or the adrenaline, not endorphins, adrenaline. What it does when we are under stress, we need adrenaline and cortisol to help us actually fight that stress. It keeps us safe. But when threat is there, when stress is not there, we do not need those hormones. So they stay in our body and they can cause other health problems, high blood pressure, can cause poor sleep, can cause weight gain, inflammation, all those things. Okay. So we need to stay active and move as much as we can. And within even the environment where we work, we create opportunities for us to move. Coping strategy number 4, it is limit alcohol and drug use. Why? Because they actually worsen stress. I know a lot of people rely on them to manage stress, but they make it worse. I can tell you that as a mental health provider who practice actually addiction medicine, I can tell you they do not help. They make you feel like they are, but in the long run, you actually experience bigger and worse problems. They will impact stress, your own decision making, and impair judgment. So please, 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 while they may look like an easier solution, especially if you don't know what else to do, they are not going to help you in the long run. And the reason we are talking about this is so that even things that people are using as coping mechanisms, that we also identify which one is helpful and which one is not. Overuse of them can lead to addiction, yes. And as much as I'm an addiction treatment provider, I do not want people addicted. If I can, this is what I enjoy doing. Actually, training people to prevent addictions from developing. They can also create a lot of absenteeism because maybe we drink and we use drugs. We don't feel like we can go to work. We are scared of being caught. And the other thing is, we may struggle with withdrawal symptoms and hangover. So please, please, please know they do not help. They actually complicate the challenge and the problem. They can also cause workplace accidents, which we all are working hard to prevent, but they can contribute to it. So when we avoid, when we limit, please know that we are preventing all of those things we do not want to see. There are also healthier alternatives to using alcohol and drug use, and we are talking about them already that we can do so that we do not look at this as a solution or the only option that we have. Coping strategy number 5, it's actually planning our finances, because for majority of us, stress related to finances is insidious. It is incapacitating, is overwhelming. It is something that we are not even able to concentrate when we have it. So I have a few tips on how to do this and why this is important. One, because financial insecurity is a leading cause of stress. Yes, when we don't know whether we can feed our families that night, we can feed ourselves, we can pay our bill, maybe my apartment will still be available, whether I'll be able to pay it. So that having that financial insecurity all the time, the reason we need to plan around finances is that we are living within our means, and number 2, that we are realistic. We are not working with somebody else's budget, that we are working within the budget that we have for ourselves, because many people sometimes plan hoping that, you know what, this month I will be able to do a couple more sales to be able to afford it. No, please do not plan for what is not within your reach, that you do not have already. Plan for the money that you have, because when you're planning with what you expect to get, guess what? Between you and getting that you're hoping to get, what you will be dealing with is insecurities, financial insecurities, and a lot of stress. And we don't want that. That impacts our mental well being. So practice budgeting. And now with technology, so many free resources that we can plan and budget with, and also have a habit of saving something from your income, so that on those rainy days when maybe you're not paid, when you don't have, you have emergencies that consume, you have some fallback plan. Sometimes it's also investing it into some maybe group, some chama, or somewhere else that you can access it. All of those mechanisms really help, so that you're not constantly anxious about money and finances. Also, please set aside small amounts as an emergency uh, cushion, an emergency fund, and many people do that. It could be that you think about, you know what, maybe I don't want to always worry what's going to happen when my family member is sick or I'm sick. Maybe purchasing some insurance to cover for that, or contributing to a group where when it comes to your turn, you also they can support and contribute to you as well. So there are so many mechanisms that we can apply to reduce the burden of financial stress that ultimately now contributes to the stress that we're already experiencing in workplaces and really makes the burden very, very heavy. And when we experience that burden on financial stress, our mental health is impacted. Coping strategy number 6, I told you there are 7 of them that I'll share with you in this session, is build strong relationships. This one is key. Most of you already do this and you know why relationships are important. This could be family, friends, or even the people that you're working with. I would say I would distribute to make sure that within my family, I have people that I can rely on. Among my friends, I have some. And even at work, I have some. They all do not need to be supporting you in the same level and at similar capacity. What they need to do is these are people that you have classified and categorized on exactly the nature of the relationship. Again, you don't just blanket everyone. You may not be able to bring your challenges from home. Maybe your child is sick and you're coming to borrow money from colleagues, but you may have a friend that you're comfortably able to do that, or a family member. Do you see? You may perhaps not bring a challenge from work to a family member who may not even understand and have the skills that you have at work. But that is something you can confidently confide into a colleague who works in that environment and understands the work, and they can help you. So those are examples on how you build those strong relationships in a way that they actually help you meet these needs that you have. And as a result, you also help other people meet their needs. Good working relationships improve job satisfaction and emotional resilience. Yes, again, that example I've given, having a friend that you know, for work, I go to this person. And for family matters, I go to this person. If I need a little bit financial boost, I go. If I need a bit someone to accompany me to a hobby, maybe I hike, maybe I dance, this is the person to go to. So having a variety really matters, and it's very important. Also, talking to others prevents isolation and burnout. Yes, regardless of what you're doing, when you have people that you can talk to about your life, even when you have no challenges, it's such an emotional boost. It is such an immune system boost, and it will really go a long way for times when you're dealing with challenges, could be work related challenges or even challenges from your own family. And the last coping strategy that I will share with you today, please seek help. Yes, as simple as that sounds, please seek help. Remember, if stress or mental health challenges persist, seeking help is important. Sometimes we struggle, we struggle. It is that stress. I live it every day. I perhaps have tried to help myself. And a lot of us helping ourselves, unless we are applying these strategies that we are learning today, helping ourselves may not always be in the right way. For example, many people try to help themselves feel better by using alcohol or drugs. Many people try to help themselves feel better by perhaps eating, which now leads to other complications. When we are eating the wrong foods, when we are eating too much, or sometimes people help themselves by perhaps becoming obsessed with things. Maybe it's shopping, spending a lot of money on things, or spending on gambling, or even trying, I have this financial stress, so I'm going to bet. So all of those are ways that people try to help themselves, but ultimately it doesn't work. So what I say is, please seek professional help. There could be trainings like this that are available, or you can just speak to a professional and we'll share know-how in this session at the end and also in the next session. Okay? Many mental health issues worsen without professional support. Yes, they do, because the urgency that one feels that I need to do something about this, that should be telling you that I actually need help. And unless you know what help will help, it can become quite challenging, because you can make something that was become even that was bad become worse, just because your intention was right. You are trying to help yourself. And that is why there's no judgment, even for people who gamble, who bet, who use drugs. For me, there's no judgment, because I recognize as a behavioral therapist, as a behavioral scientist, that is ways in which people try to alleviate their own suffering. But now they get to a point where they are caught literally with their pants down, they don't know where else to go. And in that case, they now are coming to seek professional help when it's too late. So please start with that. And then you have all the options. You learn all the other healthier things that you can do for yourself. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, it's not weakness. I know a lot of people minimize it, but the next time maybe someone is saying you're talking to a therapist, you're calling a counselor, you're speaking to your pastor or whoever else is your spiritual guide, remember you can always respond. It is better to do the right thing from the beginning. It is too costly to try and do all the other things that look cool and then I end up in worse problems. So do the right thing at the beginning. It is better for you, better outcomes. It is cheaper. It is also lesser time than having to try and helping themselves. And then we are now treating addictions or we are treating now complicated mental health issues. So please, please, please remember, even for those who judge or put people down for doing it, it is the right and ethical thing to do. So, seeking help was the last strategy number 7, and a coping mechanism number 7. But how do we seek help, especially in work places? How do we just allow others to pull us up that ladder when we need it the most? One, the easiest, hopefully. I hope, I do not know, but I hope that where you work, you feel that you can talk to your supervisor or even a colleague. Okay. So if work stress is overwhelming, remember it is work. You may not talk about how you're feeling, but talk about the work that I'm not managing, I'm not concentrating, I'm not focusing. I feel so rushed. Speak to HR, speak to manager. They can do something about the work to alleviate the stress that you're feeling. Employers may also offer adjustments. They may say, by the way, thank you, Irene, for coming and bringing this forward because we had not seen how this is impacting our staff. Now they come to the department and actually make overall changes. So you may not just be asking for accommodation alone, you may be asking for your colleagues who may not have come forward with that. So please propose, speak to your managers, and look at that as giving them feedback. If you are one person who fears seeking help, don't think about it as seeking help. Say, I am going to give feedback to my supervisor about how my work is going and how it may affect me. It may already be affecting you, but if you don't want to be vulnerable like that, one way to say is this is feedback. So, can I give you feedback about how work has been lately? And your supervisor, most managers and leaders, they need that feedback. They seek for it. So, speak up as feedback, even if you feel like I can't be asking for help. I don't want to look weak. I don't want to look like the, weaker one dragging the team down. But when you're giving feedback, you're actually standing up and leading your team, promote mental well-being. All right, on seeking help, if you have exhausted, you've spoken to the supervisor, you have given them feedback. Remember, you're not looking for help, you're giving feedback. If nothing has happened and you're still feeling that, okay, I still need personal support, or I gave feedback to my supervisor, to my manager, to my leader, but I don't want to talk about my personal things, how I am not sleeping or how I'm feeling anxious. So this is the time you visit either a health clinic or even a therapist. I say there is no wrong door. If you're not feeling mentally well, if you're feeling too overwhelmed, even just going to a regular medical clinic, you don't have to go to a mental health clinic. You don't even need to know whether they are therapists or not. Just go to any medical care provider. Why? I believe any professional medical health medical provider, they will be able to guide you in the right way. In that moment, you may be feeling very overwhelmed, not able to focus or even think for yourself. So you kind of use that person to help you navigate that process. So you may just go to a clinic next to where you live or next to work, and maybe just speak to a nurse. They may not even be a mental health nurse, and say, this is how I've been feeling, and they'll be able to say, well, I think you may need to speak to someone. Person can now refer you, or that person can now give you now these strategies that will help you assess how you feel in a week or so. So no wrong door when it comes to getting help. Go to any professional who is in the medical field. They will guide you somewhere. And I hope that the professionals that receive people in this way, they also have resources in their figure points to be able to help people navigate. So remember, professional counselors help with stress, anxiety, trauma, and even addiction. I am one of those, so I know that, and I work with many at Cafric. So therapy, especially here at Cafric, is private and confidential. A lot of people do not want to seek help, especially even in their workplaces, because they think that the person they see will now share that information with HR. Well, I would want to tell you and to know from this point that any regulated health professional, anyone who requires a license for them to practice, actually, if they share your information without your consent, there is a legal issue there that you can actually take a step about it. But like now, I'm giving a case of me. You come to see me here at Cafri and you share your struggles at work, and then I take all of that information and go to your employer and say, by the way, do you know the kind of employee you have? You can sue me. I should not be working. That is violating professional boundaries and ethics. And so we are expected to promote and maintain privacy and confidentiality of personal health information. So know that, because this is one thing that a lot of people fear. And if you are still feel afraid to go into your workplace, please reach out. Reach out, I say, and money should not be a barrier to reach out. Because even just reaching out and talking to someone who have professional skills for 15 minutes, it's not even a session they can charge you. It's not even 5 minutes. Say, this is how I'm feeling. Can you tell me what is it that I can do at home? Because I don't have money to pay. What is it that I can do to start to help myself? Or this is what I've been doing. What do you recommend? You see? So, and I hope that people have that spirit of helping and promoting well-being, that in those few conversations or even a text message that people ask. And for me, this is why I do this kind of trainings, because information is power. When people know better, they do better. So please know that fear of being known, fear of being discovered by your employer should not exist, especially when you're working with a professional mental health person or even medical health person. Okay? Takeaways for today. One, remember, healthy coping strategies, they lead to better performance and well-being. Yeah, so these are not just things we do when we want. These are not just hobbies. We need to embrace them and practice them, because then we also want to perform better in our work. Good performance hopefully comes also with a better pay, and so less stress when it comes to finances. We are able to do more to take care of ourselves and to nourish our bodies. So overall, performance increases and well-being increases as well. Mental health impacts work and life. Yes, there is no wealth without health. There is no health without mental health. So it starts and ends there. So if you need a more comfortable life, happier life that is more peaceful, less stressful, please take care of your mental health essentials. And we are unpacking one by one. And remember, seeking help early prevents bigger challenges. Yes. So when people, will say, why would you be seeing a therapist? You don't need a therapist for that. Come on, you can stop drinking if you wanted to. Remember, many people want to, they just don't know how. Okay. Even sometimes they know how, they don't have the mental resilience and willpower to be able to do. Maybe that's no longer their control, especially when it comes to substances. So please seek help. And when you seek help earlier, it is easier, it is cheaper, it is less damaging to your mind and to your body. So please go ahead and seek help earlier. Some reflection. Yes, I love reflections, because we need to be able to reflect on what we are learning and see in which places we will need to unlearn and relearn a few things. Think about these coping strategies, the 7 of them, and also now the help seeking options. Among these, which one would be more useful for you? Because all of us are different, but we are also rich in our difference. Someone maybe walking exercise would work. Another person may be talking to a friend or support person. Another one is talking to the supervisor about work. Another person is calling Carfrick Center outside of work because they don't want to be discovered. Whatever works, just think about which one among these 7 can I put down somewhere put in my mind that if I'm struggling, this is the way, this is the route for me to get help. Think about it and write it down. And if you have a confident, also let them know. Because sometimes we cannot help ourselves, but if we have said something to someone in our circle who cares about us, they may be able to help us. So please say something. Don't just keep it to yourself. And if you would want to read more about coping strategies to help with mental and promote mental well being, here are some resources that you can visit. You can read more so that when you know more, you do more and you do better. And in case you are there listening to this and thinking, I am not well, I am struggling, and especially when we are talking about the symptoms session, please remember we are just a phone call away. I say we because, yes, you see that logo there, the CAFRIC, that is CAFRIC Center. It's a fully accredited and licensed medical health facility, mental health facility. We provide all mental health services, and including rehabilitation of substance use, and even detoxification for people who experience withdrawals. So please reach out. Our capacity is 30 beds. We have both beds for male and female, and we see everyone, including youth who struggle with self-harm behaviors, traumas, and all of that, psychiatric assessments, drug screening. We do therapy and counseling. We are a one-stop shop. You call us, and even if it's just to know how to manage your life, what do I do with this? Those 15 minutes, we will be glad to provide some information that can help you. We also have a lot of printed resources that we can share that can help you and even help your family. And if you're there thinking, this is all good, I've been doing it, I want to continue, I would want to even learn more strategies, here, I got you too. Because we have an e learning program that I have recorded. In that program, we walk deeper into knowing more about me. How do I respond to this? How do I set boundaries? Why is it that people irritate me? Am I always the one sacrificing to do things and then I feel guilty and resentful? So if you are in that space, you would want to know, how do I help myself with that, because that is my biggest stressor. Please reach out. We have this program, the e-learning self-awareness program, and this one has helped many people, not with mental health challenges. They are nothing wrong with their mental well-being, but they just want to enhance. I want to be more productive. I want to manage my money better. I want to have better relationship with my children, my spouse, and my family. And that program is only 5,000 Kenya shillings for the entire program. You listen to it on your own time and you learn and grow. This is how you get in touch. All those three numbers, they are CAFRIC Center numbers. They have WhatsApp, and they also, you can text or call, and you can actually tell one of our staff, call me back. We are glad and able to do that and happy to do that. And if perhaps your workplace listening to this and you're thinking, my team requires some of these strategies, how do we implement them? We do a lot of consultation work for corporates, a lot of training, a lot of coaching for leaders. Please reach out to us. That is our email. And we will be glad to help you walk through this journey of promoting mental well being from one person to the next, and to changing our society to one that is mentally and physically healthy. And with that, I say thank you very much. It was nice having you and sharing this insight. And I look forward to having you in the next session. And with that, thank you very much. And please practice, practice, practice what you learn.